Hi everyone, Mike Milnarik here with your quick weekly tuba tip. Range. Range is something that I get asked about an awful lot. One of the things that's very important about range is practicing. Now, that sounds stupid, but when I play high notes, I'll have students, or when I'm doing a clinic or something, people will come up and they'll ask me, how do you play so high? And I usually come back with the answer, practice. And then they go, no, 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 no. I know I got to practice, but what? How do I play high? And I say practice. And then they say, okay, let me explain a little bit. It's important to practice not only to get better, but it's important to practice to build endurance. You have to make the muscles strong here. And the corners of your mouth are what is going to hold a note in the upper register. If you don't have strength in your chops from practicing regularly and building that endurance, you'll have problems playing high. Very important to know. Now, the other thing that happens that can help a lot is practicing in the low register. First of all, people have trouble playing in the pedal range of the tuba because they don't play down there enough. That's a major thing. Of course, sometimes there are tubas that don't have good low registers. They're kind of stuffy or something. That's a whole different problem. But for the most part, if the instrument isn't the problem, the low register doesn't come out as well because we're not used to playing down there and we don't have the elasticity in our face. So we have to work on that kind of stuff, to just playing down there. The good news is the more you play in the low register, that actually helps strengthen your chops to play higher. So that's one way to practice your high range, is by practicing your low range. Now, one of the major things that I like to use for working on range is chromatic scales. Chromatic scales are excellent because they don't change a whole lot of stuff here all at once. You're not skipping around to different intervals. You're only playing half steps, so there's very little change in your lips, in your aperture. And one of the exercises that I really like for this is in the Clark Technical Studies book. There's a bass clef version of the book. It was originally written for trumpet, cornet, but there's a bass clef version of the book, and it has these chromatic exercises, and each line goes up by a half step only. And so what happens is you keep going up, keep going through the exercise, and you go to the last one that you can nail, and then you go to another one and it doesn't come out as well. Go back to the last one that you can nail, and that's where you quit for the day. One day you'll get up to a certain note. Another day you're gonna be a lot lower than that. It's not quite up there. Another day you'll get higher than where you were originally. This is all building consistency. So the more you do this, the more you'll find that you're not going to be going up and down as the ending line as much. You're actually going to keep going up until it kind of craps out on you. And then you go back one line to the one that you can nail again, and you quit for the day. And you don't feel guilty and you don't worry about it. You just keep doing it each day and you build the strength. It builds technique because it's chromatic scale exercises. But it also is building your chops up, and it's building the strength here so that you can keep going higher and higher. Those are really important things to work on. And then another thing that I always tell my students, of course, to work on are scales, doing scales and arpeggios and that kind of stuff. All different kinds of scales. You're dealing with range. So use scales over the range of the practical range of what you have over the instrument, and that will keep expanding the more you do it as you keep working on it more and more. So hope this helps, and we'll see you next week.